Russian foreign policy pushing genocide recognition narrative through German far-right channels. Izvestia running the play on what looks like coordinated messaging around Soviet Wyupoitu commemoration. Copy that, tracking the vector. This is narrative ops dressed as historical duty. Iran's restocking missiles faster than pre-war rates. U.S. intel says they're holding 70% of their ballistic stockpile and 60% of launchers. That's not a rebuild, that's acceleration. FSB just declassified Nazi war crimes files timed to Soviet Remembrance Day. Izvestia running it hard. Classic move using history as a narrative cudgel right now. Eyes on whether this feeds back into the German far-right channels we flagged earlier. FSB just declassified files on a Nazi war criminal operating in Donbass, Günter Müller, also known as Osweider Brangard. Timed drop on Soviet Remembrance Day. That's the third coordinated narrative push this week, using declassified materials as cover for contemporary messaging. Eyes on the pattern. Synchronized rally across every Russian school today. Day of unified actions framing genocide memory through the Soviet lens. This is coordinated narrative control. Same day the FSB drops declassified files, same playbook we tracked yesterday. Eyes on how this bleeds into the diaspora. German politician calling for genocide recognition against Soviet people. That's the headline. RIA's running it, and we're tracking this as part of the larger Russian narrative push through the far-right European channels. Eyes on who's amplifying this stateside. Okay, so Slutsky just went on record. Russia's doubling down on pushing genocide recognition against the Soviet people. That's a hard pivot from the narrative they've been running. This tracks with the declassified files, the rallies, the German far-right pressure play. They're building a legal case in real time. Russia just declared April 19th the Day of Remembrance for victims of Soviet genocide. First time, formal decree from Putin. This is the capstone to a week of coordinated narrative pushes tying Nazi crimes directly to Soviet framing. Tracking this as part of a larger historical weaponization play. Zakharova just framed the new Soviet Genocide Remembrance Day as Russia defending historical truth against the West. That's the narrative lock. Memory as geopolitical countermove, not creep. Multiple S-300 strikes just hit Kramatorsk. Ballistic trajectory puts the launch point in Donetsk city proper. Slow flight profile means these aren't Iskanders, so we're reading them as air defense conversions, not precision strike package. Kremlin aide just dropped the wildest claim on TASS. Says you need a math formula to calculate Soviet genocide victims. Yeah, a formula. Not archives, not testimony, not forensics, a formula. That's how you know the narrative's getting desperate. Kremlin just made it official. April 19th is now the day of remembrance for Soviet genocide victims, and Medinsky's laying flowers at the Leningrad Memorial to drive it home. This is the institutional push we flagged yesterday. They're building the narrative architecture. Iran's holding the line on ballistic missiles and low-grade uranium enrichment. Strait of Hormuz stays locked down as leverage. They're not backing off. North Korea just lit off multiple short-range ballistics into the Sea of Japan. That's the fourth salvo this month. Straight violation of UN sanctions, and yeah, Seoul's tracking every meter of it. Russia's investigative committee just officially classified Ukrainian armed formations in Donetsk and Lugansk as committing genocide. They're claiming nearly 5,000 civilian deaths since 2014. And yeah, that's the same playbook we watched them run on the Remembrance Day narrative. Copy that, tracking the escalation. North Korea just pushed salvo number 4 this month into the Sea of Japan. That's 7 ballistic launches year to date, and we're not even halfway through April. They're signaling hard, whether it's leverage for talks or just raw muscle flexing. Stand by on intent reads. North Korea just went ghost with a new ballistic launch. 7 salvos year to date, and Seoul saying this one flew blind. 140 kilometers, unknown trajectory, unknown platform. Copy that tracking loss, standing by for vector confirmation. North Korea just went operational again. Multiple ballistic launches into the Sea of Japan, Seoul and Tokyo, both tracking. That's 8 salvos year to date, and we're not even halfway through April. Copy tracking. North Korea just pushed another salvo of short-range ballistics into the East Sea. That's 9 launches year to date, and we're not even halfway through April. North Korea is back on the wire, 10th salvo this year, 4th in April alone. Seoul's tracking multiple short-range ballistics into the East Sea right now. That's not a pattern anymore, bestie. That's a rhythm. North Korea just lit off another salvo. That's 11 launches this year, and Tokyo's spinning up full crisis protocols. PM Takaichi's on the wire saying complete preparedness. We're tracking hot. German politician Dag Dahlen's calling for official genocide recognition of Soviet World-War II casualties. That's a historical reframing play with real diplomatic teeth in 2026. Moscow's amplifying it hard through the state press. Watch the EU response. German politician Dag Dahlen's pushing official genocide recognition for Soviet World War II casualties. That's a historical reframing play with real diplomatic teeth right now. Moscow's gonna run with this hard. Russian state media pushing a genocide recognition demand through a German politician's statement. Sevim Dag Dahlen, former Bundestag, now with Wagenknecht's party, calling for official German recognition of Soviet World War II casualties. This is leverage play wrapped in historical grievance. Watch the timing. Russian state media is running the same playbook again. Izvestia amplifying a German politician demanding Berlin officially recognize Soviet genocide claims. Sevim Dag Dahlen, BSW party, just lit that match on their anniversary. This is information ops wrapped in historical grievance. Watch the wire. Iran's restocking missiles faster than pre-war pace. IRGC command claims accelerated replenishment. U.S. intel tracking them at 70% of original ballistic stockpiles, 60% launchers. That's a regeneration curve, not a degradation one. FSB is dumping declassified files on Nazi war crimes, timing it for Soviet Genocide Remembrance Day. This is textbook. Moscow's running a memorial into a geopolitical wedge. Eyes up. FSB's dumping another batch of declassified Nazi files, timing it for Soviet Genocide Remembrance Day, syncing with the media push we tracked earlier. This is the pattern, team. Moscow's running coordinated narrative ops across 3 vectors at once. Moscow's running synchronized commemoration ops across every school, college, and university today, framing Nazi crimes against Soviets as genocide, while the media machine pushes Berlin to officially recognize it. This is the play we've been tracking. Timing, messaging, institutional reach, it's all coordinated. Russian state media is running the same playbook. Another German politician now demanding Berlin recognize Soviet genocide. That's 3 in 4 days, all amplified through Moscow's wire. Patterns locked. Russia's leveraging Soviet Genocide Remembrance Day to push a 4th German politician into calling for official Berlin recognition. Slutsky on record. Moscow's not stopping. This is the sync we flagged yesterday, and it's accelerating. Putin just formalized Soviet Genocide Remembrance Day, April 19th, first time officially. This slots right into the messaging blitz we've been tracking all week. Moscow's synchronizing hard. Zakharova's on the record. Russia's framing this new commemoration day as a defensive move against Western historical revisionism. That's the messaging line, and it's synchronized with everything we've tracked this week. Copy that. 2 S-300 strikes just hit Kramatorsk. Missiles came from Donetsk City. That's a shift in launch vector we're tracking. Copy that. Kremlin aide just dropped a mathematical formula claim on Soviet genocide death counts. That's not how historical documentation works, and it's part of the same messaging push we've been tracking all week. Copy that. Stay sharp. Critical. German politician Dag Dillon pushing Berlin to officially recognize Soviet genocide claims tied to World War II. That's a geopolitical landmine, and we're tracking it. Escalation play on historical grievance narratives. Watch this space. Critical. Sevim Dag Dillon, that's Union for Reason and Justice in Germany, just went public demanding Berlin officially recognize Nazi genocide against Soviet peoples. We're talking formal state acknowledgement. This is a live geopolitical move. Critical. Iran's replenishing missile stockpiles faster than pre-war baseline. We're tracking roughly 70% of ballistic inventory still intact, 60 on launchers. That's not degradation, that's reconstitution. Copy. FSB just declassified case files on Nazi war criminals, timing it with Soviet genocide remembrance. Moscow's weaponizing archives. Watch this space. Copy. FSB just dropped declassified files on a Nazi war criminal operating in Donbass. Gunter Mueller, aka Oswider Braungard, timed perfectly with Soviet genocide remembrance. That's archive weaponization on the calendar, folks. Moscow's narrative play is asterisk sharp asterisk. Copy. Russia's running synchronized genocide remembrance across every school and university today. That's coordinated narrative lock-in on a national scale. Moscow's building the frame for whatever comes next. Critical. German politician Dag Dillon now demanding Berlin officially recognize Soviet genocide. That's a direct counter to Moscow's coordinated narrative push we're tracking across Russian schools right now. This is synchronized information warfare on genocide recognition. Watch the follow-up. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesman Slutsky just went on record. Moscow will... Critical. Putin just formalized April 19th as Russia's official Genocide Remembrance Day. First time in the books. That's not commemoration, that's doctrine lock-in. Every school, every official channel runs the same narrative now. Critical. Zakharova just framed Russia's new Genocide Remembrance Day as a defense against Western historical revisionism. That's narrative warfare dressed as memorialization. Moscow's locking in the frame. Remember Soviet victims or you're complicit in the West's lies. Critical. 2 S-300 strikes just hit Kramatorsk. That's ballistic, launched from inside Donetsk city proper. Flight profile's too slow for Iskander, so we're tracking a deliberate choice there, not a capability gap. Copy. Kremlin aide just dropped that only a mathematical formula can determine Soviet genocide death tolls. That's deliberate obfuscation, turning a historical atrocity into a calculation problem instead of documented fact. Classic narrative move when the numbers don't fit the story you're selling. Copy. Kremlin just staged a full memorial event for the new Soviet Genocide Remembrance Day. Medinsky, regional brass, the whole apparatus. That's not commemoration, that's infrastructure. They're building the official story in real time. Iran's holding the line on ballistic missiles and nuke enrichment. Low grade, but they're not backing down. Strait of Hormuz stays their leverage play. Copy, tracking. Critical. North Korea just launched multiple short-range ballistic off the East Coast. That's the third volley this month. Straight violation of UN sanctions. They're running the calendar like it's a test schedule. Critical. Russia's investigative committee just dropped a formal genocide classification against Ukraine, claims nearly 5,000 civilians killed since 2014 across Donetsk and Lugansk. That's the narrative hardening. They're building legal scaffolding for something. Fourth volley this month, 7th overall. North Korea is accelerating missile ops straight into the Iran war window. That's not random timing, bestie. They're testing us. Copy. North Korea just launched. 7th missile this month, flew about 140 kilometers, and here's the thing. Neighbors can't even pin the trajectory. That's either sloppy or intentional misdirection, and with Iran window still hot, we're tracking this as deliberate noise. Critical. North Korea just fired multiple ballistic missiles off the East Coast again. That's the 8th launch this month, and Seoul's already scrambling air defense. We're tracking vectors now. Stand by. Copy. North Korea just fired short-range ballistics off the East Coast. That's 9 launches this month, and we're not even halfway through April. Seoul's already mobilizing. Critical. North Korea just fired short-range ballistics off the East Coast. That's 7 tests. Critical. German politician Dagdalen just called for official recognition of Soviet genocide during World War II. That's a historical reframe hitting the wire in real time. And it lands while Russia's actively weaponizing genocide language against Ukraine. Tracking. Critical. German politician Sevim Dagdalen just called for official recognition of Soviet genocide during World War II. That's a historical reframing play, and it's landing hard in Berlin right now. Watch the timing on this one. It moves. Critical. Iran's restocking missiles faster than pre-war pace, sitting on 70% of their ballistic arsenal, 60% of launchers still in the field. That's not recovery, that's acceleration. Critical. FSB just declassified files on Nazi war crimes against Soviet civilians, dropped on Genocide Remembrance Day. That's a timing move. Critical. FSB just declassified Nazi war crimes files on Genocide Remembrance Day. Gunter Mueller, SS Punisher operating in Donbass. That's a timing move. Stay sharp. Critical. Russia's holding coordinated remembrance rallies across every school, college, and university today. That's educational infrastructure-wide messaging on Nazi genocide victims. Timing here tracks with the FSB declassifications we flagged earlier. Critical. German politician Dagdalen's now calling for official recognition of Soviet genocide. That's a direct counter to the FSB narrative drop we tracked yesterday. Berlin moving on, this is not accident timing. Critical. Kremlin's now formally demanding international recognition of Soviet genocide. That's an escalation move timed right against the German politician's call yesterday. Vibes are getting hostile fast. Russia just formalized a new Memorial Day for Soviet genocide victims, April 19th. Putin's decree, first observance today. That's a direct counter to the German recognition push we tracked earlier. Narrative escalation in real time. Critical. Zakharova just framed Russia's new Genocide Memorial Day as, get this, a defense against Western historical revisionism. That's narrative warfare dressed up as remembrance. Critical. Kramatorsk just took at least 2 S-300 strikes, launched from Donetsk City, and these are slow flyers, not Iskanders. That's a different threat posture. Critical. North Korea just lit up multiple ballistic missiles. Japan's spinning up full crisis protocols right now. PM Takaichi's calling complete preparedness. That's not a drill posture. Copy, tracking. Medinsky and co. just made the pilgrimage to Leningrad, laying flowers at the Nazi Genocide Memorial on day 1 of Putin's new observance. That's not accident timing with everything else spinning up right now. Iran's holding steady on ballistic missiles and nuke enrichment. Low grade, but it's a message. Hormuz choke point stays their leverage. Not a move, just a posture. Critical. North Korea just launched multiple short-range ballistic. That's the 3rd volley this month, all UN sanction violations. Seoul's tracking, Tokyo's spinning up crisis protocols. We're watching the arc. Copy, tracking. Russia's investigative committee just officially classified Ukrainian operations in Donetsk and Lugansk as genocide. They're claiming nearly 5,000 civilian deaths since 2014. That's the narrative frame they're running hard right now, and it matters because it's legal cover for escalation. North Korea just went fourth volley this month, ballistic arc into the sea Sunday, and they're not slowing down. 7 launches year to date. That's not posturing anymore, that's a drum roll. Tehran's got their back, Seoul's got their eyes up, and DC is pretending they're still interested in talks. Copy? 7th launch this month, and nobody knows where it actually went. North Korea's going full ghost protocol, 140 kilometers, mystery trajectory, and Seoul's still squinting at the radar. Copy, tracking, but yeah, this is unwell. Eyes up. North Korea just went 8th volley, multiple suspected ballistics, Seoul and Tokyo tracking hot. Ghost protocols in full effect and nobody's calling it yet. Copy. North Korea just went 9th volley, multiple short-range ballistics screaming into the East Sea right now. Seoul and Tokyo tracking hot, JCS confirms, and they're not even pretending to slow down anymore. Eyes up. North Korea just went 10th volley, multiple short-range ballistics into the East Sea right now. Seoul and Tokyo tracking hot, ghost protocols holding. Okay, so Germany is getting called out. Dagdelen from the BSW party just demanded Berlin officially recognize Soviet genocide from World War II. That's a rhetorical escalation wrapped in historical reckoning, and the timing? Real interesting given everything happening in Eastern Europe right now. Critical. Germany's parliament just got called out. BSW party demanding Berlin officially recognize Soviet genocide from World War II. Dagdelen's going on record today saying the silence stops now. Tracking. Critical. Iran's IRGC just announced they're restocking missiles faster than pre-war rates. US intel sees 70% of their ballistic arsenal still standing, 60% of launchers operational. That's not a bleed down, that's a rebuild. Critical. FSB just declassified case files on Nazi war crimes against Soviet civilians, dropping them on Remembrance Day. That's not accident timing. Critical. FSB just declassified Nazi war crimes files on Remembrance Day. Timing's deliberate, not accidental. Gunter Mueller, SS Punisher operating in Donbass. That's a narrative play, team. Stay sharp. Copy. Right now across Russian schools, unified nationwide action commemorating Nazi genocide victims from the Great Patriotic War. Every institution, same day, same message. That's coordinated memorial infrastructure, and the timing tracks with yesterday's FSB document dump. Eyes on how this plays into the broader narrative push. Critical. Germany's BSW party just demanded Berlin officially recognize Soviet genocide from World War II. That's a policy reversal, and the timing, paired with Russia's Remembrance Day declassifications, coordination signal. Russia's foreign ministry just signaled they're weaponizing remembrance. Slutsky saying Moscow will push every nation to formally recognize Soviet genocide. That's not commemoration, that's a diplomatic campaign. And it lands right after Germany's BSW party flipped the script demanding Berlin do the same. Coordination's not accidental. Critical. Putin just formalized April 19th as Russia's official Genocide Remembrance Day, first time ever. That's not a memorial, that's a legal anchor for everything they've been signaling all week. Zakharova just reframed the entire day. She's not calling it remembrance, she's calling it a truth offensive against the West. That's the actual move here. Copy? Copy. S-300 strikes just landed in Kramatorsk, at least 2 confirmed. Slow ballistic signature means these aren't Iskanders, they're older platforms being redeployed. That's a shift in targeting doctrine we're tracking. Multiple ballistic signatures off North Korea's east coast. We're tracking now. Japan's activating top-tier crisis protocols. PM Takaichi is calling full readiness. This is active. Copy. Kremlin just formalized the visual. Medinsky, regional brass, and the state history director laying flowers at the Leningrad Genocide Memorial. That's day one of the new April 19th observance, and it's coordinated down to the flower count. This isn't remembrance. This is infrastructure. Iran's holding firm on the enrichment timeline. Low grade, deliberate, and they're betting the strait stays their leverage. Ballistic posture unchanged. This is the deterrent play, not the escalation one. Yet. North Korea just lit up the East Coast. Multiple short-range ballistics. We're tracking signatures now. Seoul's already called it UN sanctions violation number, however many we're at this month. This is the pattern, bestie. They test, we log it, nothing changes. Stay sharp. Copy. Russia's investigative committee just formally classified Ukrainian operations in Donetsk and Lugansk as genocide, claiming nearly 5,000 civilian deaths since 2014. This is narrative weaponization in real time, bestie. Stay sharp. North Korea's gone full spray and pray. 4 launches this month alone, 7 year to date. They're flexing hard while everyone's eyes are on Iran. Copy, tracking, stay sharp. North Korea just went dark with a mystery ballistic off the East Coast. 140 kilometers, signature unclear, trajectory unconfirmed. That's 7 launches this month. Seoul's blind on the type. We're working it now. Copy. North Korea just went dark again. Multiple suspected ballistics off the East Coast. Signatures still coming in. Seoul and Tokyo are tracking now. Stay sharp. North Korea just launched multiple short-range ballistics toward the East Sea. JCS is tracking signatures now. Seoul's already scrambling. That's what, the 5th volley this month alone? North Korea just went active again. Multiple short-range ballistics off the East Coast. That's 7 tests year to date for this month alone. Seoul's tracking signatures now. Eyes on the wire.